Welcome once again. This is News Tonight at 10, and just like News Tonight at 8, our bulletin will be dominated by the exercise that is ongoing countrywide right from the 10th to 19th, and that's at the National Housing and Population Census. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and later on into the bulletin, we will be having a dialogue with none other than James Mwonge. He is the Director of Methodology and Statistical Coordination Services in UBOS. We will be delving into the progress of the exercise, the challenges, the triumphs, and he will be right here on set. As a national broadcaster, it is our duty to bring you events as they unfold. Heading into the bulletin, President Yoweri Museveni on national census. As the National Population and Housing Census 2024 kicked off, President Museveni and the First Lady, Janet Museveni, spared time to answer some census questions at their household. The Executive Director, also National Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, Dr. Chris Ndatira Mukiza, oversaw the enumeration exercise at State Lodge, Nakasero. Speaking after the enumeration exercise, the President congratulated Dr. Mukiza and his team for what he termed as a comprehensive exercise, stating that the questions being asked are very comprehensive and detailed.
Finding out Ugandans who have got shares in companies. Otherwise, the whole thing is very comprehensive. That's why I've spent almost like 2 hours here. So I congratulate Dr. Mchiza and his team. I think if this is what they are doing everywhere, then things are moving. And all of you cooperate with them. I hear there are some groups who say they don't want to be enumerated. Stop that, because you are when Uncle will say okuchumbagiza, you make us you interfere with our work, because this information would be used for planning to get solutions to your problems. Social, economic, health, medical, because they were even asking medical questions about eyesight, about hearing, about very useful. So I thank the team. Thank you so much. And I hope you will all cooperate with them.
Vice President Jessica Alupo and her family Friday completed the enumeration exercise in her village of Oigo Yamoa Ongongoja sub-county in Katakwi district. Speaking to the media shortly after the enumeration exercise, the Vice President said census figures play a critical role in guiding planning, policy formulation, and program implementation, as well as monitoring development progress in line with national goals and objectives.
Let me thank the enumerators Let me thank the officers who have come from the center up to the village here, and also the enumerators here at the local level who have taken my family and I through the enumeration exercise. The enumeration exercise has been successful and, in my view, very interesting. There has always been an enumeration exercise in Uganda, but this is the first time I participate fully by responding to questions directly. Before that, my parents have always responded to questions about me to the enumerators. The exercise of the 2024 census is very vital and crucial, especially because of the questions which are asked relating to the livelihood of a person as an individual, but also people in the family as a community. It is crucial because it empowers government to create data which gives government feedback on the achievements so far made by a number of programs of government which are directed to the transformation of the grassroots and all the people of Uganda. But also the exercise is very crucial because it gives government data which is very accurate, as people themselves are the ones speaking. Gives government data on how to plan for the age groups of the people who are in Uganda, but most importantly, how to allocate resources to areas which are crucial in line with the feedback from the population themselves during this exercise of the 2024 census. Having successfully gone through the 2024 census exercise here in my village, in Aketa, Oigoimomwa, in Ongongoja, I would like to call upon all the people of Uganda, and specifically the people of Teso, to embrace this exercise because it's a very important exercise which will help government to plan for them. It will also help the people to inform government on what is happening in every family, in every village, in as far as this transformation of our country is concerned. The exercise is free. The exercise is easy. The exercise is very interesting. So I would like to call upon all the people who have doubt about the exercise to spare time and respond to a few questions which are asked by enumerators, so that we as government have accurate data which we can use to plan very well for all the segments of the population and the much needed services that we need to discharge to the people of Uganda.
Now, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has emphasized the need for all Ugandans to participate in the national population and housing census. Nabanja was enumerated at her home in Kinena Town Council in Kakumiro District by a team led by Dr. Allen Kabejenyi, a board member of the Uganda National Bureau of Statistics. Dr. Allen Kabejenyi noted that this is the first digital enumeration exercise carried out in Uganda and is expected to be the most accurate one.
Shall know how many homesteads are in a parish, in which area. And like that, we are going to plan better and know how to serve our people in a given locality. There are areas with few people, which are sparsely populated, but there are areas which are densely populated. And this is going to help us to this discrepancy to be solved. Then lastly, it is going to help us to know the status of our development. We shall know whether Uganda has now moved from the backward or from the least developed countries to middle income status. This data is going to help us know that.
Government sends things to the communities, find they are not enough. I think because they have been relying on the data which they got those days, 10 years back. But we hope with this data which they will get, the lady was telling me that they will go an extra mile to ask on how the children feed, maybe to route malnutrition, how many boys you have, how many girls you have, how many children you have, maybe to rule out the fertility rate of that area. Maybe which income generation activities do you have, to find out all those problems, such that this one will help them.
To note that we've had a very successful interview and the enumeration process has begun countrywide, and we wish to note from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics that a lot is going on, and we are very appreciative of the government of Uganda. So I would like to urge Ugandans right about now, please embrace this exercise. It started last night. A number of you, or some of you who are on the move, were counted wherever you are. But most importantly, the special population that we refer to as like the floating population.
And then as we look moving further afield, we go over to Kasese and Mityana districts, where Ministers Kabyanga and Nabakova embraced the enumeration exercise. Let's also take a look at that.
State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, has called upon Ugandans to embrace census exercise for proper service delivery. The minister said this after getting enumerated at his home in Mpondo Lubiri Town Council in Bukonzo County West, Kasese district. He acknowledged the slowness of the exercise by the enumerators due to technical challenges.
Census is an important exercise. It gives the foundation of planning. So unless you know the number of people you're planning for, the type of life they are living, the type of education they have acquired, you may not plan very well.
Right now, I have a team of like 10 enumerators who are stuck because of the issues concerning about the copies we are trying to apply as far as networking is concerned. So that one may spearhead the exercise to delay and not to be enough in 10 days.
He appealed to all Ugandans to spare time and get counted. The minister said government will look into the time given for the exercise and assured all people that the exercise will reach them.
The only challenges which I can see are of technical nature. First of all, the system is not loading faster. Then two, the questions are very many.
Meanwhile, in Mityana district, some of the areas where we monitored the exercise, like that of Mityana municipality and Kalangalo sub-county, the enumeration exercise started a bit late. Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, was among the first people to be enumerated from her home in Kalangalo.
Quite detailed, but I want to urge all Ugandans to participate fully. Be cooperative, respond to all questions asked by the people who are going to be interviewing you. Some could be a little bit tricky, others could be reminding you about what happened some time back, but the most important thing is to answer whatever question is being asked and also give the correct answers.
With Mityana not being exceptional, the exercise registered some dark spots, with the notable one being that this woman declined to be enumerated. Relatedly, the State Minister for Works and Transport, Musa Echweru, wants Uganda Bureau of Statistics to further sensitize masses on the ongoing national population and housing census. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
And of course, those are some of the questions that Mr. James Mwonge will be answering in our interview that in an event that one has refused to be enumerated, what happens? Moving ahead, the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, Paul Semogerere, has asked government and the general public to focus on conserving the environment. Archbishop Semogerere expressed this at his home situated at Rubaga Cathedral after being enumerated in the ongoing Uganda Census 2024. Now, our reporters, we will be bringing that story shortly, about the Archbishop Semogerere. Now we move over to Kasese, where we visited the place to ascertain the status of the enumeration exercise, but of course found out that most residents had abandoned the public holiday to embark on their daily operations as the officers delayed to show up.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 has commenced, but with a number of concerns reported by residents in Kampala. In Kasese zone, one of the slums in the central business district, the local leadership revealed that the preparations did not include their participation towards the success of the exercise.
Community, tulina nyingi nnyo twali tukuba enkiiko ez'ebyalo naye bane tugenda kwewandiisa bane mubeerewo n'abantu ne bategeera naye tebadde era tebakulimba pulezidenti waliwo ekiri buggulani wansi ekyo kiri bukyamu.
By press time, the local leaders we interfaced with had not been enumerated.
Nze nga nange kennyini atwala abavubuka sinaba kubalibwa ababala bennyini tebanaba kukola ki kuntuukako olw'ensonga simanyi kisoomooza ki kye basanze.
Tukyali musawa musanvu zino tetunafuna naye kati ekiro muolime eggwanga teri wabadde mu ggwanga n'olwekyo buli muntu yenna eyakoze ekintu kino kyonna yeetaaga bamwebuuzeeko.
Do you feel you will benefit from the national census when it eventually gets done?
I don't think so.
Why don't you feel you will benefit from the census?
Because I personally am food to mouth, so if I don't work, I won't get food. So the government, I don't know its plans. As an individual, I'm food to mouth, so population census is none of my business.
While government gazetted 10th of May as a public holiday for the commencement of the exercise, a sizable number of residents in Kasese have not been enumerated. The residents argue that their stay home was cut short by the need to fend for their families, as there was no show of enumerators by the time they left home.
Kati ne bwe twandiwummudde kati tebazze kati nga bwe bataza ate twandiwummudde waka tukoleyo ki
batugaye bajja tusanga waka tubalinze mpaka ssaawa ze tubalinze nga tebajja tusalawo tujje ku mirimu neffe tubalindidde wano era banagamba tubalanga batubala
abantu lwaki bagenze kukola banyiivu.
LCs remained steadfast in rallying locals to embrace the exercise. Overall, Day 1 has presented challenges, including enumerators visiting households without all the necessary requirements to ease their work.
Yeah, actually, during the training, all this time, all the 9 days in training, they've been briefing us about that. They've been promising us LC1s, security guides around the village, and other people to accompany us in the field. But so far, when I came on the ground, there was nobody, and I was out of time. I had to start my work right away. So I just did it on myself.
From our observation, an enumerator was spending about 10 to 15 minutes on each individual and 40 to 45 minutes on a household. After enumeration, houses are marked with a number indicating the year of the exercise, the initials of the enumerator's name, the household number, and letter E for enumerated houses. Tony Kent Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC TV News.
Now over to Bunyoro. The National Population and Housing Census exercise has kicked off in Kagadi district amidst rejections of some individuals and faulty equipment being used. Let's hear more as well in that story.
Speaking from his home in Kaivaria, Cell, Hoima West Division, Hoima City, where he was enumerated, the Premier of Bunyoro Chitara Kingdom, Andrew Byakutaga Atenyi, said the census will also help identify the clans in Bunyoro, which is crucial for the kingdom's leadership.
It will also help the kingdom to plan for services in the kingdom, and also to know how our people are living. The census is a very simple exercise. The questions being asked are simple and they're not complicated, and so people should not be intimidated or should not fear or should not be scared about this exercise.
According to the Hoima City Census Commissioner, Jonda Nuamanya, the exercise is progressing well despite challenges with poor network connections, which have resulted in some data not being captured.
We are working on one by one case, and we are solving most of the issues there. And we hope by the close of business we shall have no problems.
Hoima City Communications Officer Melton Asimwe urges the public to take advantage of the remaining days to get enumerated.
The kingdom shows a sign of something everyone has to follow. So from onset, I want to urge everyone to ensure that he is counted, be available in your homestead so that you help government to capture your data, to able understand the amount of people we have in the country so that we can plan accordingly.
Some enumerators in Kagadi say the tablets were faulty and could not locate places as enumeration area, in addition to the fact that they lack appointment letters, reflector aprons and transport too hard to reach areas of Lake Albert shores.
There were some missing equipment. It's like some t-shirts to carry our gadgets because already it is a rainy season. So I think by next season or by the time of the next exercise, we request to be with some of these equipment in this side of our district, because we hear other districts we are given all the requirements.
Even the maps are not displaying, so those are the challenges we are facing. So we expected to start work at 8, however it was not possible. I started at 10.
Barnabas Tinkasimire, Buyaga West MP, who was the first person to be enumerated, explained the importance of census, urging people to embrace it.
First of all, you establish the number, and you are able to plan for the number of people you have in the country. You establish the number of households. You are able to plan. For instance, the parish development model is based on a household model. It's a household model planning. So we would, when you know the number of also people who are in the household, you will start estimating that maybe giving them 1 million is not enough.
Meanwhile, some rural women on Lake Albert shores rejected to be counted, saying it was useless and that they were denied parish development model and other government programs which they say benefited only the rich people in the district.
Nyina abana bari mu mashomero, abana bandemerire sente tinzine, umufakazi enjuti injili tinkombekere nk'abandi, esente za muro bakazitwima.
Meanwhile, in Masindi, the National Population and Housing Census exercise started a bit late, with supervisors blaming it on logistics and technological hiccups. Masindi District Census Officer Gerard Komgisa says despite deploying enumerators in time, some of the deliverables like tablets were received late, thus delaying the whole exercise.
Another challenge we have encountered was the system showing the other sub-counties instead of the sub-county where the enumerators are. But you are trying to work on it. Some of them have been rectified and some of them are being worked on. by the UBOS team.
Residents, on the other hand, woke up so early to be enumerated so that they could go on with their daily businesses.
I've been waiting home at my place to be counted. I've stayed there since morning. It is coming to actually 11, and nobody has come to my place. And I'm wondering how I'm going to stay there for the next 10 days home, waiting for those people to come and count me.
Bantu tibaina abakira bingi tibaina kyebamanyire kyokka abwire bunu tula mulimu tukura.
Now, counting was today delayed in Lira City after the system-based application failed to function. Enumerators later sought technical intervention from the city and resumed the much-anticipated census 2024.
Everybody, all the enumerators and supervisors that were supposed to be in the field to converge again back to the Lira City central office for this relocation. That's why up to now, up to around this 1 hour, you find out every enumerators, every supervisors who are supposed to be in the field by now, they're all here for rectification. And this has made a lot of technical team to have a lot of challenges in this situation. The problem is caused by that the CAPI was released late. Many enumerators and supervisors in Lira City did not receive their tablets in time. In fact, others have just received today. That enumeration is beginning, especially the supervisors and the police and other people who missed at the same time. The challenge that people most likely to actually concur is that their situation basing on the work in this CAPI situation.
The National Population and Housing Census exercise in most parts of Morutu district started after midday, while in some sub-counties the exercise has been stayed to tomorrow.
It's midday, but most enumerators in Morutu district are seen being helped to log into the system. Some enumerators talked to UBC about their experiences with the system.
To the field, I tried logging in, it refused. I tried again, it completely refused to work. So we decided to connect with our supervisor. She also told us it's also not working. She told us to keep on logging in case it can accept. It still refused, so we had to come up to here.
I tried to open my copy and to start the questionnaire, and I started it well, but it refused to log in. It was reading sorry, the network.
Not able to log in because when she opens the copy, it's just blank. So we sent them to the district for verification and working on the.
Enumerators from Rupa, Lotsan and Tapak were more affected.
I've not covered any household. They say that the phones they are not working.
The internet in the tablet is too slow. When time comes to when you want to scroll the data.
MTN has been pre-qualified to provide data for synchronizing after collecting data, but up to now we are receiving challenges from the field, from the enumerators. They can't capture the code, the household code, because it requires data for you to go ahead.
Border areas, Tapach, Kakingol, Nerengenya, you have a lot of interference from the Kenyan network. Safaricom keeps on popping and is stronger. So the other day when we had the DED, the Deputy Census Commissioner, Mr. Nabongo, we asked him if the IT people could open up
these MTN lines that they have given us to roam.
Moroto District Planning Officer Paula Opio says the enumerators and supervisors did not get chance to use the census module.
The first time they interfacing with the census mode, because Alaron was been using the training mode, and so there was a lot of data that had been inputted during the training mode, which needed to be clear.
Opio further explains how they are trying to rectify the problem.
Unable to see the map of the houses which is on the system. And so the instruction we got from UBOS is that we actually proceed. We just select the household, then when they are not in the map, there's a function for adding somebody who is not on the map, and that is what they are going to use.
According to Opio, enumerators and supervisors in Tapak were asked to stay due to the long distances to the district headquarters.
So in Tapak parish, they can collect around the sub-county headquarters. So we have made provisions for them not to loiter, because if they come back here, it becomes costly. Number two, it might demoralize them. People come back, they say we shall go back tomorrow.
However, enumerators and supervisors were not happy as UBOS failed to equip them with raincoats, gumboots and umbrellas.
If we reach the field and it starts raining, we really don't know. Even the capis will be affected, the bike cannot protect.
In sub-counties like Rupa, Lotsan and Nadunget, the exercise started at around 2 p.m. At around 4 p.m., some enumerators and supervisors were still stranded at the district. Brian Tumwinebia Ruhanga, Moriniga, UBC News.
And over to Kawempe. Census exercise in some parts of Kawempe division in Kampala was delayed due to the alleged late payment of enumerators, facilitation and failure by UBOS to deliver the enumeration materials.
These enumerators from Ragotu Parish, Kawempe Division, had intended to boycott the census exercise because of not receiving working contracts in time and enumeration items, including census identification jackets.
But we didn't receive any. We just got the copies. After we getting the copies that we are supposed to use in the field, yesterday on day 9, we are supposed to get all the remaining equipment. The appointment letter, the umbrellas, the gumboots, the caps, the bags, and the login to start the program. But we didn't receive any.
This is how I'm going to work. I'm not provided with anything like a cape, a t-shirt to identify me, or a tag. The only thing they gave us, they were copies.
A show of hands, can I see those with appointment letters to work with you, boss? So this is on an individual basis. Can I see those without? Because I think they are the few.
Deputy RCC Kawempe, Yasini Ndide Njasabigu, intervened to diffuse the escalating situation, averting a potential crisis.
The issue was on issuance of the appointment letters that some of their colleagues had missed. So mistakenly, they had teamed up, including those who had received. However, I have explained it to them on how the training intended to target even those who would drop out before the end of the training. It is very fortunate that most of them have successfully gone through the training. Government is to pay whoever has trained the training allowance, and we are to pay the working allowance for only those who have received the appointment letters. And they have accepted, and they are more than willing to step the ground.
However, the delay had speculations, prolonging the commencement of the census in the area. Additionally, the use of iPads for enumeration also contributed to the sluggish pace of the exercise, necessitating additional training for enumerators to navigate the technology effectively.
still having serious issues with their copies. And when I talk about copies, I mean the small tablets they're supposed to use to capture data. Since this time, and for the very first time, we're doing it digital, in a digital way. So the logins are failing us, but we are on it. We are remaining with a few numbers to conclude.
In Ikatanga, a Kampala suburb, the census had not yet commenced by the time UBC arrived, as the area local chairperson explains.
Tulabako wadde n'omu azenta abala abantu bajja ne batutukira batubuuza basitadde kuninga abamu batugambe mutulemeseza emirimu mugambe bagenda kutubala tutulaba batubala kati nange biba binsobedde.
By 1 p.m. the situation in Mulago 2 parish had normalized and the enumerators had been dispatched to start work in their respective zones.
Now, the death toll from Thursday night mudslides that occurred due to heavy rains in Kasese has risen to 11. According to the State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, the sub-counties of Charumba, Chondo and Chaburungira still remain the most affected. He revealed that due to the continuous heavy rain, bridges and roads that connect to health centers have also been damaged.
Government area mala tishengwesi. So makitraka na dikutibikiro kilo kwa vetwa nikingera
no Kabiri River crossing from Chondo to Kaberere, it has been swept, and the Nyamugasane bridge at Charumba is also at a risk of being swept. It's to our people who are living on very steep areas to leave those areas at the moment and come to the lowlands which are safer. It is very unfortunate that when rivers flood, we rush to the raised areas. But this time the raised areas now are being hit by landslides and mudslides. Prime Minister's office to come in handy and assist these families because all their property has been destroyed, houses, farmland. Most of them are now at trading centers, schools and churches.
Again, like I said in the beginning, the whole bulletin is dominated by the National Housing and Population Census. As it goes on in progress, we, the national broadcaster, we will be unveiling you all the happenings as they unfold. Now, we're going to take a short break, but of course, when we do return, we will be engaging in a dialogue with James Mwonge, the Director of Methodology and Statistical Coordination Services in UBOS. So stay tuned for that upcoming discussion in our corner.
Live in concert kujahazi PM Nyonyo mo hip hop kunarubale Kurokanga 18 Mei 2024 ena fefe bosi weekend kama koma rapo na nyina freestyle jangora bomwana wakulu kutebika munganiga sasa liva muchamba misana na chinoga tuli marapu melele pokinga mtwale bidi vya mtwale tano emeza kakande emeza vya milioni 3 downloading MTN Momo hapa osaliwe kebijula 5 kubuli 10 ku tiketi woguli kwa MTN Momo tiketi gula mtwalo gumo ade VIP ebili chitundu tulina de bote cruise. See you looking beauty right now. Mitedwa Musente MC MTN Momo Gibo establishment the angry management.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow with subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Uganda's biggest tourism and travel trade show of the year is here again. The 8th edition of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2024 under the theme Responsible Tourism will be taking place at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, from the 23rd to the 25th of May 2024. It's your chance to connect with tourism and travel professionals from across the globe. Discover travel holiday deals, packages, and so much more. Visit www.poate.co.ug to register and be part of the event. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Fellow countrymen and women, especially the Bazukuru, as we work towards realizing Uganda's Vision 2040, it is important that we plan based on accurate information about our people and our resources. I therefore would like to announce the 6th National Population and Housing Census that will start on the 10th of May 2024. The information from the National Population and Housing Census will support government, the private sector, cultural and religious institutions, civil society, and development partners in service delivery. It will also provide the basis for planning the provision of social services such as education, health, and transport, among many others, at the national and local levels. When data collectors or enumerators come to your home during the census, please avail yourselves and provide them with honest answers to their questions. This is in order to enable them process the most accurate information about you, your household, institutions, and community. I therefore call upon all political, cultural, and religious leaders, private sector players, civil society, the media, and the institutions of the government to support this key national program. The successful execution of this census will influence the well-being of all Ugandans and progress the country towards the desired socio-economic transformation. I wish you all a successful census for God and my country.
Abanyakampala na Uganda Yuna. Nobat Events and Awesome Entertainment present Ragey live in Kasese at Lugogo Cricket Oval on 10th May 2024. Tickets are 20k ordinary and 50k VIP, 1 million gold table and 2 million platinum table. Buy your discounted tickets off the Momo app at only 10k ordinary and 25k VIP. Come represent for Ragey. It's gonna be non-stop entertainment.
Welcome once again to our guest, Akuna. Quite a privilege to be able to enter into a dialogue about the National Housing and Population Census which is already in progress. And we all know that the census reference night happened last night on 9th, and of course from 10th to 19th May 2024, we will be seeing a progress or a progressive exercise happening in our country. In studios, James Mwonge has not been able to make it, but of course I'm joined on set with the right person, and that is none other than Lawrence Kimbowa. He is the Senior Public Relations Officer, UBOS. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so census in progress. It is a much anticipated exercise that we've been all waiting for. I don't know whether everyone was looking forward to it, but yes, the country has been waiting to see the exercise going on. And a lot of people missed work today, waiting for enumerators to pop or knock at their doors to begin the exercise, but all was in vain. I think you'll be able to talk to us about that.
Thank you so much for hosting us as we are into this critical process of enumerating people all over the country. First of all, I would like to first clarify that yes, it was declared to be a public holiday. The major objective was to ensure that we target people who are working, the working class. And why we chose a Friday was to see that at least if we don't get someone on Friday, at least we can get them in the course of the weekend. And what I know is census is not a one-day's activity. Much as it was declared to be a public holiday, I think the perception out there was everyone is going to be counted today, which is not the case. We give that privilege of 10 days to ensure that we are able to get to everyone within those days. The other critical issue which the public needs to know is that the questionnaire that is being administered, we request a house head or the head of a household to be the main respondent. However, in circumstances where the house head is not available, a spouse is in position to answer, or any other adult who has sufficient knowledge regarding that particular household is able to answer. And the other aspect which is also important, when we bring census on board, we don't want business to come to a standstill. We don't want to be like those times of COVID where instructions were given that all of us be home. So,
because I think that's the concern for every citizen in the country. People are saying that the first day that you told us we should stay home, we complied to that rule, but then you didn't come. So should we stay home for the next 10 days? I think now you're clearing that out. It helps a lot.
Thank you for that concern. First of all, when we told people to stay home, we didn't say that it is a must you should be home. I would like to clarify that. If we could remember the statement, giving a public holiday majorly was to target the working class. And then it is also not true that people have waited and nothing has been done.
In the central?
At least something has been done.
I was home
and yes,
until I had to come to work.
The truth is, on the first day, of course, we cannot reach to every home. But if they have not reached today, at least I'm sure tomorrow they will reach, on Sunday they will reach. So I want to assure the general public they shouldn't be worried. The enumerators are going to reach our respective homes within this period of the 10 days. So they shouldn't fear, they shouldn't be worried. Those of you who have not been able to go to work, we said information can be given by a spouse or it can be given by the head of the household, or information can be given by any person who has sufficient knowledge on the questionnaire. Yes.
Okay, we know at this point and hour that census figures will play a critical role in helping government plan for us in terms of policy formulation, programs implementation, and different goals and objectives from government. But now in certain areas we've witnessed that the people who have refused to be enumerated. So have you catered for that area? Are we counting that as it's a variation in the counting, that 50 or 10% will refuse to be enumerated, 80% will accept? Do we have a statistical area where we're categorizing these people, or are we forcing them to participate in the exercise?
First of all, this exercise is under the UBOS Act of 1998, which gives Uganda Bureau of Statistics the mandate to conduct the census. When you refuse to be enumerated, it can be categorized as an offense under clause 28. But as an entity, we don't look at using the hard, probably coercing people. What we do is we've been doing a number of sensitizations to enable people understand and appreciate why we need this process to take place. So we look at using the law as the last resort, and I believe I've not seen any person who has said that I will not be counted.
I just read a story.
Yes, stories are circulating, but from my knowledge, at least I've not got any person where they have said we went there and they refused to count us.
It's already in social media, but of course it hasn't yet gotten to your ears. Now, when we look at this digital census collection of data, we are so impressed that everyone has got a tablet. And one would think that with an exercise like this, now that it's a landmark digital process, there shouldn't be any errors. The work should be very quick and swift. There's no paperwork, there's no this and that. But then we are seeing the logging system failing, a lot of challenges from the enumerators. So how are we handling that?
Thank you for that question. Now, one of the challenges we've had majorly in areas surrounding Kampala, there were allegations that the tablets have refused to work, which is not right. The challenge when we did investigations, we got to know that during the recruitment of this exercise, there were people who have been smuggled in and they have not attended the trainings. So they have not had the knowledge on how to use the system. And the system, if we don't have you as UBOS, you cannot have the...
you can't log in.
Yeah, you can't log in. But this evening, UBOS has issued a statement to all the district census officers and our district technical officers to ensure that effective tomorrow, we have a better way of moving forward.
Okay, quoting from Reverend Moses Banja from Church of Uganda, he expressed the need for the increase of enumerators. It is 10 days. 1,000 enumerators, and the process is a 2 hours process, right? What's your name, blah, 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 answering those questions. I hear it's a long process. It takes an hour or two. This is what we've had. So probably you can clear the air for us.
Okay, thank you. This process doesn't take 2 hours because when we look at the questionnaire, captures different groups. For example, we have people with disability, and if I'm interviewing you and you are not a person with disability, that session I will skip
The time will differ.
Yeah, because being digital, at most, the interview should take 40 minutes.
40
at
minutes.
most. So I would like the public to know that they shouldn't be worried. Yes, the questions might be many, but there are those that do not apply to particular households.
So don't you think that in this process there could be a double counting? Because I was thinking, when you have all this data in your the tablet, and probably you wish now to count the travelers. The traveler was already counted home, and they're not decent enough to tell you, I'm already counted. Can't you double count these people? Have you come up with something to cover that?
Yeah, that is catered for. The system that we are using can be is in position to track someone who has appeared twice.
Okay.
And then the other thing is,
that's good.
Yeah, the other thing is the people we counted last night. Those are people we call the floating population.
Okay.
And those are people, for example, the bus drivers, the truck drivers, the street children, to mention but a few. And the people we are counting from today, we look at people who spent a night at home.
Okay.
In that particular household. So in that aspect, there will not be double counting.
Okay, thank you so much, Lawrence. That brings us to the end of our dialogue. Thank you so much. You've given us an in-depth of what's transpiring, the progress of the National Housing and Population Census. We hope to call you back in the near future, probably even tomorrow, for the lunchtime news. Within the 10 days time period, we will need you to come back and verify as the events unfold. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you too for hosting us.
Okay, quite straight away into our business segment. The State Minister for Minerals, Fiona Nyamtoro, has toured the Asitano gold mining fields in Abim district. Her visit aimed to both understand the challenges faced by the gold miners and to enforce the presidential directive requiring miners to cease activities until proper artisanal mining licenses.
Accompanied by a team of officials and donned in the Karamojong traditional attire, the State Minister for Minerals, Fiona Nyamtoro, arrived in Abim district amidst growing tensions surrounding gold mining activities. The region, known for its rich mineral deposits, has witnessed a surge in artisanal mining operations.
We simply came here to see that the artisan miners understand what is happening and how best they can embrace the best sustainable and responsible mining practices.
That's what you encourage other miners from other regions to do, and they've done so and have given them licenses.
In an engagement with the miners, one of the key issues highlighted was the absence of proper licensing, leading to legal ambiguities and environmental concerns.
Once the registration is done, they'll be able to be formalized and protected legally and recognized by government of Uganda as artisan miners.
Addressing the miners, the State Minister for Minerals reiterated the importance of adhering to regulatory frameworks to ensure sustainable and responsible mining practices. Minister Nyamutoro emphasized the need for artisanal miners to obtain the necessary licenses before resuming operations in line with the presidential directive.
The President's directive has been very clear. His heart reaches out to the people of Abim to see that they benefit from the resource that they have present on ground. So he directed that security, first of all, gazettes the place because minerals belong to the government of Uganda, and that we swing in as a ministry to ensure that the artisan miners are well organized, formalized, and offered a license, and also demarcate an area for them to continue mining as we look out for one of the best investors that will benefit the community from mineral development.
Among the concerns raised by the locals were environmental degradation, land disputes, and the social-economic impact of mining activities on their livelihoods.
I am glad to hear that the association is already being rejected. All we need is your willingness and your collaboration as the people.
Minister Nyamutoro announced plans to establish a task force comprising government officials, mining experts, and community representatives to oversee the regularization of artisanal mining in Abim district. Dennis Igoa and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin. Thank you so much for sticking it with us right from lunchtime, 8 o'clock, and the now 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Please go and be counted. The exercise started today. It will be ending on 19th May 2024. Good night.